the topic is very interesting, essence of Indian civilization. And I am of the view that, I think I'll have my pound of flesh being the moderator, so I'll just put my views forth and then let everyone pitch in. So the essence, the word essential itself, it's a very tricky word when it comes into when you look at it in the Indian context. What would you really call the essence of something which is so vast, which is so ancient, which has had such a long journey, and it has survived so many turbulent periods and a lot of, we were just talking about violence and invasions and what have you. So to single out or to actually take a couple of or a bunch of things from this entire bouquet of experiences and the way knowledge is expressed, I think it's a very challenging task. So, but at the same time, it doesn't give a free pass to anyone to say that, okay, this is something which does not have a coherent view of reality. At the same time, there are so many contradictions. There are dialogues happening between different schools of thought. So, to really say what is essential in Indian civilization is a very challenging task, and I'm hopeful that with such an erudite panel, we'll be able to get somewhere at least some sort of understanding in this aspect. Now, I'm part of this this initiative called the Indic Collective Trust, in which we fight legal battles for the preservation of the Indian civilization. And one of the things that we are fighting for is this issue of women's entry into the Sabarimala temple. Now, looking at it from a modernist perspective, it is just, it's a very simple binary thing about allowing everyone access to the deity. However, the tradition holds a different view of this, the practice itself. So, when the courts deal with this question of entry of women into the temple, they talk about what are the essential practices of Hinduism and whether it violates those or not. Now, this first step itself in dealing with the issue, in my opinion, is wrong, because essential practices actually derive from texts. And with a plethora of texts and such an ancient oral tradition where everything is not recorded in writing, it becomes difficult to separate what is essential from what is not essential. And that case and the way it is being argued is, to me, in a sense, representative of the fact that language, the human language itself, is not adequate to sum up the Indian experience, the civil experience of the Indian civilization. And you have other examples, and I'll close after that, which includes our view of logic. Now, the Indian view of logic, especially which was propounded by Nagarjuna, was one of Chatushkoti logic. It is not the binary logic of is or is not. Right? So there is a possibility of either and or. There is something which is, there is something which is not, there is something which both is and is not, there is something which is neither is nor it is not. So like I said, human language is not evolved enough to be able to express this coherently. While this can simply be expressed in mathematical abstractions quite clearly, and it makes perfect sense in the set theory, for example. So the difficulty of capturing the essence of Indian civilization is essentially the difficulty of language to capture the reality of universe. Because language has evolutionary goals which are distinct from the way it is ultimately used. It did not evolve to search for some higher truth. It evolved for us to communicate with each other. So even to have this dialogue on the essence of civilization, we should be mindful of the fact that we are employing a tool which may not be adequate to capture this essence.